bizarre stories from the subscribers. Hi Leo Augusto, my name is Andre and this happened recently. I was going with my parents to a colonial cafe here in the city. When we got there, I went to the playground to play for a bit since they had a lot of cool toys available. But when I came down the slide, a boy with a navy blue cap and somewhat torn clothes appeared. He started chasing me. Wherever I went, the boy would follow. So I decided to play Pokemon Go and started walking around the place, catching some little Pokemon and all that, and he wouldn't stop following me. He kept staring at me the whole time without even blinking. He looked like a psychopath. Since I had drunk a lot of grape juice, I needed to go to the bathroom to take a leak, right? So I shook the guy off and went to the bathroom. When I opened the door, the boy was inside staring at me. Then I thought he was some kind of psychic or something, because he knew I was going to the bathroom and anticipated my moves. I asked if he was done using the bathroom, but he didn't answer. He just kept staring at me in a really weird way. After that, I told my dad what was happening, that I was being followed by that boy. He said I was the only boy there and that the only other kids around were two girls. But even so, my dad asked the person in charge of the place if there was any child with the characteristics I described. And the man said no. However, this wasn't the first report. Other people who had been there had already reported this, asked him the same question, and no one knew who this strange boy was who showed up there and kept bothering people. Hello, how are you? My name is David. Today I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me. One day I was talking to my friend Paolo. Then he invited me to play video games at his house after class, right? I agreed to play and we went to his house, which was in the same neighborhood as the school. When we got there, we spent hours and hours playing. I didn't notice the time passing. After I checked the time, I got scared because it was already nighttime. I said goodbye and left quickly. My mom must have already been worried about me because I forgot to let her know. There were only a few people on the street since it was already about 10 o'clock at night, man. After about 5 minutes of walking, I went into a street that was a shortcut. But it was a dirt road, no sidewalk, with a huge wall and a lot of weeds, man. When I was in the middle of it, I felt like something was on top of the wall, and when I looked, I saw an animal that looked like a wolf with really dark fur. In my desperation, I couldn't look at it for long. I ran away in a panic, man, and turned the corner. When I looked back, I could see that the wolf was running like a person on two legs. I managed to get home after running a lot. I told my mom and she didn't believe what I said. She even scolded me for not telling her I was going to my friend's house. The next day I passed by the same place out of curiosity and looked up at the wall to see if there was any sign of the creature. The wall it came out of was really high. I put some stones at the base so I could climb up, you know? When I look to the other side of the wall, I can't see anyone. Just a small house, and to my surprise, there were several bones near the door. Everything was broken, and the creepiest part was that there were blood stains on the floor and on the door. I saw someone inside the house, a shadow, and the door started to open. I ran out of there and never went down that street again. I told my friend and he said nobody goes through there because on that little road people usually disappear at night, and they say there's a werewolf there. Hello Leo Augusto, how are you? My name is Miguel and I have a bizarre story to tell you. This happened to my father years before I was born. He worked as a waiter in a bar here in the city that closed around 1 in the morning. So he would get home around 2 o'clock. It was a time when there were few people on the street and the family was already asleep. One day he was coming into the house when through the window in the living room door, he saw a shadow inside. He thought it was his father or his brother who were there in the living room. So he tried to get in, but the door was stuck and wouldn't open at all. He kept turning the key back and forth, then pushed and nothing happened. He tried to call the person to help him. The figure looked back and immediately the door opened. When my father entered the house, there was no one there. The lights were all off and apparently everyone was asleep. He went to the staff's room, but everyone was already snoring. To this day, he wonders who that person was who opened the door for him. Hi Leo Augusto, my name is Natalia. I'm 11 years old and I really like your videos. I'm going to tell you a story that happened last year around Halloween. My friend came over to my house that day so we could play. So my mom went to the gym with her mom and we were home alone. We could cause chaos because there wouldn't be any adults around to stop us. So we started playing around. We had a contest to see who could carve the scariest pumpkin. We had to make it really scary, carving out the eyes and mouth and putting a candle inside. After we finished and judged both of our work, we decided it was a tie. They looked very similar and scary. We decided to use the pumpkin for a game that was basically using it as a mask, and the other person had to hide and run away. If you got caught, you had to switch and so on. Before we started, I went to the bathroom to do my business. My friend waited at the bathroom entrance. When I came out, the lights were already off and I started hiding, so I wouldn't be caught off guard by her. That's when I saw her at the entrance of the room. But there was something different about my friend. She was taller. How strange. She's not wearing high heels. How did she grow more than a meter in just a few minutes? It seemed like it was someone else. Suddenly, I saw my friend coming from the kitchen, telling us to start the game right away. If she was in the kitchen. Who is this person standing in front of me wearing my pumpkin mask? We looked at each other and started to run to the second floor of the house, and we hid in my room. I locked the door and we put the bed in front of it to make a barrier. Whoever it is wearing my pumpkin mask is not from my family. My dad only gets home at 10 o'clock at night from work, and my mom wouldn't play that kind of prank on us, so whoever it was started banging on my door aggressively. With each bang, we thought the door was going to come down. After a long 3 minutes of agony, I heard my mom's car pulling up. I ran to the window to warn her that someone was inside the house. Both moms ran to see what was going on. And when they came inside the house, they said there was only a pumpkin lying in front of my room, and that it was a mess. My mom didn't like it and thought it was a prank from us, and we were grounded. I don't know what that thing was, but I'll say it here. Be careful during Halloween. Someone wearing a pumpkin mask might show up at your house.